Allow me to apologize.
No, I'm not allowing you to be Canadian.
Look at this thing. Look, it's slightly on it.
Oh, whatever. Okay, ready?
Let's face it, as Nintendo fans, we are often left slightly disappointed and scratching our heads asking why. Where is our Super Mario Galaxy 3? Why isn't Metroid out yet? Bring back the Ice Climber seriously, and what were you thinking, the Virtual Boy? Well, sit back as Sean Capri and Bobby Pauls do just that. That's right, this is If We Ran Nintendo. Now, cue the music, maestro.
Okay. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my good buddy, Sean Capri, hailing in from California, San Francisco today. What is up, Sean?
What an awful internet company you folks have down here in these United States of airport.
Well, listen, when you have like the Red Roof Inn or some cheap $50 a night hotel, this is what you get. You got to go like upper echelon, man. If you want the best, you gotta pony up the money for the best.
I guess so. I gotta like take out a second mortgage on my house so that I can afford a decent room with a decent internet connection. Like, I don't know what is happening. Bear with us, guys. I hope this is okay.
We'll make it through. And we'll do that.
Bobby, I'll just let you do all the talking, and I'll sit here and nod and drink my American diet sodas. Or
that's what you do.
All these things.
That's what you do most of the time, isn't it?
You know what? I'm a little sensitive right now.
Here he is.
So you're kicking me while I'm down. So
that's
whatever.
fine.
That's what you do.
Anybody that can listen to episode 0, go back to episode 0, and you will hear how Sean just beats me down the whole episode. So this is just paybacks. That's all this is.
Oh, okay.
So,
you know the grudge is what we're learning.
Yeah. Yes.
A very long time.
Very long. I'm like,
I'm a while now.
I'm the size of an elephant. I don't forget things like an
elephant.
Get out of here. So, Sean, for those that don't know, is actually in San Francisco, California right now. You went to Kinda Funny Live this past weekend. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at with it?
Man, the show was unbelievable. Like, it was actually like a 10. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, they just had – the only thing is that I'm old, and I can't stand for 3 hours in place. In addition to however long we were outside waiting in line for a couple hours as well, get to know everybody around us as we do. Mm-hmm. And so we get inside. It was about 10 minutes before. We've all been standing because we don't want to sit. No offense to anybody in San Francisco, but these streets are filthy. Like, I don't know what matter of stickiness is everywhere, but nope, not sitting down. So I'm standing. Couple hours, and then it's about 10 minutes before we actually are allowed into the Regency Ballroom, and rumors start going around that say there's no chairs inside. It's standing room only. It's like a concert.
Why?
Well, the show itself was actually more like a concert than anything.
Okay.
More than I expected. And that was the other thing. I'm surprised that I've come all this way and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I had pictured more like a series of podcasts.
Yeah.
But so it was more of like a variety show, and it was awesome. It was fan service to anybody who's even heard of Kinda Funny, anybody who's consumed any of their content. It was everything that they do just like blown up to a massive scale.
See, I figured it would just be like, okay, we're going to do Game Over Greggy show. And then they do that. And then, okay, now we're going to do Colin and Greg live. And they do that. And then, okay, we're going to do P.S. I Love You. And then they do that. Like, that's what I would have expected. I mean, broken up with things, maybe have different things come in. Because now they're with Rooster Teeth, correct?
Yeah, so they did like a big, like they had a couple of announcements. They had like almost like a press conference. They've got some things going. They're going to be moving into their own space. So they're moving out of Greg's bedroom. And so they had a lot of like these cool announcements. They had Jackie T, formerly of Sony Computer Entertainment. They actually had him in Greg's bedroom, or what appeared to be his bed. And so they did kind of like this mock video conferencing thing where they had recorded it weeks in advance, but it looked like Greg was talking to him like through the video cameras.
That's funny. That's cool.
It was neat because like they have this whole Jackie T thing, and So they had a couple of different things. They had the press conference. Then the worst part really was they did sort of like a Game Over Greggy show. They brought out the table, and then they had the backdrop of the bedroom behind them. And they did that lightning game, the lightning reacts game, where you're holding onto a controller and the music's going dee 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 dee, and then the light will turn green. You got to hit it or else you get shocked. Ill-conceived. You couldn't hear the music. The thing actually broke. It seemed to go on forever, and especially for any of us who like couldn't standing for that long, wasn't that good. A bunch of us actually went into another room and sat down for a little while, and then we came back, and then they just put on a show, man. Like, it was hilarious. They did a lip sync battle, and then Tim comes out and does the thong song, and then halfway through that, Cisco comes out and finishes doing the thong song. And then they did the Pokemon song with Cisco. It was hilarious, man. Wow. It was a time. And then cool. Yesterday was a little bit more low key. It was more podcasts and let's plays and stuff. So it's a good time, man. It was and the best thing is San Francisco is an amazing city. So we're just spending the rest of the week here just hanging out. We're gonna go see Alcatraz on Thursday.
Nice, that's awesome.
Back to beautiful Canada, where we can be in our own space. And
so you also toured IGN.
Yes, how could I forget? We were hosted by the wonderful Jared Petty. They broke us off into I think 4 or 5 different groups, and so everybody was led around the office by somebody there. We were very lucky to have Jared Petty. He's just an absolute sweetheart. He's a teddy bear of a guy, not unlike yourself. Just kind of like taking us around, showing us all the crazy statues that they've got everywhere. Chelsea's favorite thing, she took a picture of this. It was a picture of Shredder from the Ninja Turtles shredding on a guitar, and they've got him on the shredder, like paper shredder. I mean, that's just so hilarious.
Funny. And didn't she take a picture with like the Fallout mech armor?
Yeah, they had some statues from Fallout 3, actually. So she just fell in love with that stuff. They've got some of the Fallout Boy guy, like the little blue guy with the blonde hair. It's a crazy office. Everybody who's wandering around this thing's going, why am I working where I'm working? This is like the dream, right? They've got desks everywhere. They're just completely stacked with toys, and they obviously just obsess over this stuff. And then they did a really cool like Q&A session where they had everybody from the group and a whole panel. Like they had everybody, Ryan McCaffrey, Sean Finnegan, everybody you can think of, Brian Altano, Marty Sliva, Lana Peart, everybody was there. It was, again, total fan service.
Awesome.
The only weird part, some fans, man, some people are so weird. One guy, I think his heart was in the right place, but it just came off really awkward. We met Megan Sullivan, and I guess she's been dealing with some stuff on Twitter, and he raises his hand. Yeah, you have a question? He's like, I don't have a question. I just wanted to tell you that you are not ugly and your unboxing videos are really good. And it's like, I guess that's a nice thing to say.
Some people are.
Some people's children.
Yeah.
Awesome time though. Like we could have gone home after that. It was incredible. And just meeting all those people. And it's a weird thing when you meet like those, like the web celebrities, like, cause you get like a moment with them and then they move on and then it's somebody else. So, I'm like fully aware of the fact that 2 minutes later, they're going to have absolutely no idea who any of us are. Except for Jared Petty. We saw him at Kind of Funny, and he pulls us aside. He's like, hey guys, so how are you liking San Francisco? Like,
he's awesome.
You remember that we were from Canada? He's like, I can't remember exactly where you're from. I remember you're from Canada. I hope you guys are having a good time. Like, just an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah,
so
he's a good guy.
Between him and Jose Otero, actually, from, of course, NBC, shook his hand, told him I'm a big fan and everything. And just, I was like, I'm sort of shy when it comes to that stuff because, like I said, like, I know that they're just, shaking hands, kissing babies, that sort of thing. And Jose made a point to say, I was about to walk away. He's like, hey, man, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for like that extra little, like, don't go away yet. I'm not like,
we're not really done here. Yeah.
Guys, like, and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Jose really surprised me. And Jared was just like exactly what you would expect. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I can't believe we still have another week here, but with this internet, but we're gonna go hang out. We've been very lucky with weather. It's been crazy hot here. I had to put on some moisturizer because I'm flaking. I got a sunburn the first day, and I chipped my tooth on trying to open a plastic bottle of water because I'm dumb.
Oh, what's wrong?
I actually didn't chip my real tooth. It was like a filling that I had fixed. I really chipped my tooth a few years ago skiing. I used to be active. Now I just play video games, so I get sunburnt when I go outside. But I've missed you, man. I don't have like internet all the time. So
I know.
Like kind of disconnected here. So
it's okay.
Whenever I'm at home base here, I can catch up with everybody. But it's been weird. It's been good.
It's all good. It's all good. So you ready to kick this off?
I thought that was it.
No, I mean like really kick it off.
Like that wasn't the show?
No, that's and it's funny because I said, "Do you want to do a show where we just chill out?" And you're like, no. We're going to do the real show. We got to do the real show.
I already saw Billy and Danielle had given us ideas. So
yeah.
I got to give a shout out to Billy Blaze. I'm looking at the picture here that you send.
Yes.
This picture of Commander Keen is just like, it takes me back, man. I freaking love Commander Keen. I'm pretty sure we played that on a computer with 12 megahertz of processing power. You hit a turbo button, it went up to 25.
Yeah.
Commander Keen is my jam.
Good God, you would. Okay, so ladies first. So we'll start with Danielle. So basically, for those that don't know what this is, this podcast, If We Ran Nintendo, essentially, we don't believe that we can run Nintendo. Sean does, I don't. But we want to be different than the people that are like, hey, Nintendo's dumb. They're not going to E3. We want to be like, we may feel that Nintendo's dumb for not going to E3 in a big bad way, but we also like to add context to that and explain ourselves and what we would do if we ran Nintendo. So that's where this all stemmed from. This is where it all comes from, and we're about to do that. So, good friend of the show, Danielle Crowder. She basically last week we talked about some internet things that we would do, and in that, Sean brought up the fact that he would make it very easy with the NX to stream to YouTube and Twitch, kind of like the Sony PlayStation does, the Xbox One does. So Danielle came in and said, continuing off of last week's discussion regarding the YouTube and Twitch streaming, Nintendo hasn't made it easy to stream content from their games. The only thing they have is the Nintendo Partnership Program. So if you guys ran Nintendo, how would you change this and make it more accessible for players to be able to stream their content? Well, the question is this. You're assuming that we would change what Nintendo has into place. So that's the first thing. Full disclosure, I am in the Nintendo content partnership. And here's the reason why I got involved in it. It's not that I was making. I had a channel before this. I had a YouTube channel called The Geek Guru, hence where the Nintendo Guru came from. I didn't want to confuse people, so I kept the Guru part of it, and I just changed Geek to Nintendo, and that's how I rolled forward. But the reason why I joined the content creator program is because there was nothing more frustrating than to spend the time to put up videos and to work on videos and do all the stuff that you have to do. And then you would get that little asterisk next to the video as you would post it up, either from the song or from gameplay footage or whatever it might be. So my feeling was I need to jump into this and I need to be a part of this program. Now, just so people understand how it works, when you are a YouTube content creator, YouTube does a split with you 70-30. So 70% of revenue goes to you, 30% goes to YouTube. Nintendo comes in now and goes, hey, if you join them, hey, that 70% that you have, we're now going to split that with you 60-40. So essentially you lose even more money overall. Now, do I feel like this is a good program? I feel like Nintendo is giving you some stuff. I don't feel like it's a good program, though, ultimately. I feel like they could do better things than they do for us. But there's things that they also do that, like, other content, programs aren't doing. Example, if you were in the affiliate program with Nintendo, you got tickets to E3 this year that you could take advantage of. So essentially, I wasn't making money prior, but I did this more or less because I felt like the ability to have access to put games up, to put music up, and not get strikes against my channel. But the fear was also that I would potentially lose my channel. Like, because if you get so many strikes, there's a potential that you could lose your channel. And I felt like, man, I bust my butt to put videos up, to put content up. I'd like to be protected on some degree. So that's why I joined the Creators Program. Now, do I feel like the Creators Program is good? No. I feel like it serves a purpose. But I feel like Nintendo could let go of some restrictions. So if we ran Nintendo, how will we change it? And a lot of this I think is going to come from me because I don't know if you know all the details with the Creators Program and what you can do and what you can't do.
Probably not to the minutia that you do, but I understand kind of everything that you've laid out here. And I think that just you taking the time to walk through the reasoning, the steps that you have to go through to do it. I mean, I just think that highlights what the problem is already. Yeah. Like, you're obviously a dedicated Nintendo fan. I mean, just look around you.
Yeah.
There are other people who are even just a smidgen less of a fan.
Yeah.
They will not jump through those hoops, and therefore they're not sharing like the magic that is Nintendo.
Yeah.
And so I think the conversation here really is about, like, what is Nintendo gaining in terms of revenue, and then also in terms of control?
Yeah.
Like, what are they able to, like, are they really gaining by controlling how their content is being used? I think the answer is no. I think what Nintendo is discovering right now is that this isn't working out the way that they probably intended. They just wanted to have that realm of control, and I think that people are they are always going to find a way around controls and restrictions like this, and then B, limiting the message. It's almost like throttling back bandwidth, like you're on vacation in San Francisco.
Well, okay. So there's some other things too that they do. They do control the content because you can only do certain games. It's not open to the entire library. So if you want to split revenue, it's only a list of games that they have. Ultimately, if it was me, if we ran Nintendo, I would axe this program completely. I feel like I'm gonna be very critical at this moment. I feel like it's garbage. I feel like it does not promote Nintendo the way you want it to promote Nintendo. I feel like it turns your fans off. I feel like if I spend $60 on a game, I should be able to show fans and friends and all that, like myself playing. Example, Mario Maker. That was ideally the best game to show people because I could, and I did it for a very short period of time, and it was just way too frustrating because I couldn't just click a button like the PS4 and record. I had to hook up a contraption called an Elgato HD60. A couple times it wasn't on, and I thought it was on, so I spent an hour recording footage only to get nothing. So that's where she's talking about where it's difficult. You have to jump through hoops. I have to buy additional contraptions in order to record. So, but here it is where I get a game like Super Mario Maker, and I can't truly show it off the way I want to. Where, you know, if you're whitelisting the big game companies like IGN, Game Explain, all these guys, they can put videos up and they don't get a swipe on it. That to me is kind of unfair because you're basically saying like, well, because you're big, we're not going to mess with you. But I think that, you know, ultimately, I think it discourages. You know, you want fans to accentuate their love for you and explain why they love. And showing off gameplay footage is not going to deter people from buying a game unless the game's absolute garbage. You know, so Nintendo does their part into making the games the best that they can and look the best and play the best. So don't be afraid. Like, let people. I can see if you got some funky things going on where people are simulating sex or doing weird things and you don't agree with that. Well, then go shut that video down.
Yeah, and YouTube already has stuff for that.
Yes.
Like, that's already an overarching thing. Imagine how much more popular even the Wii would have been. Like, the whole magic of the Wii, the way that it spread was I saw somebody else playing that in person and I need to go have that myself.
Yeah.
And that's the basis for all of Nintendo from the beginning of Nintendo's console life was I saw it somewhere else and I want to go play that. I need to have that for me.
Yeah.
Why would they take that away?
Exactly.
It's just so I feel like, I don't know if we're stretching this thing out. I think we both agree that we would get rid of this program 100%. Yeah. And I feel like that isn't going quite far enough. I feel like there has to be a step in addition to that. So
here's what I would do.
And then highlight, celebrate the people who you've now opened this door up to. And like, I don't know if there's a way to celebrate the community in that sort of way. Like Treehouse is they do a better job of reaching out to the community than probably the other two consoles put together.
Yes.
So yeah, some sort of like Treehouse spotlight or something like that.
So for me, how I view it is, hey, you want to sign up to this creators program. And then what we're going to do is you sign up. We're not going to split revenue. You can keep all the revenue.
Yeah.
But we are going to kind of control the content a little bit in the games that we put out. Maybe you
don't control it, but give like a rewards program, like on Miitomo, where if you upload so many minutes of such a game in a certain time period, maybe you get bonus Nintendo points or something, or coins or whatever.
You do something like that, but what I was thinking is if for this week you similar to what you're saying, but like if you uploaded whatever the new game for the week is, just saying Smash came out this week and you want to flood the internet with Smash, you put that up. But even right now, like, it's not on the list for me to do Smash. It's not on the list that I'm allowed to play Smash and get revenue for it. So let me show you how crazy this is. And so I click the Nintendo Creators Program, and this is the list of games that I can play, and it's not coming up from here now. Okay, here we go. List of supported games. So smart device, Miitomo. Okay, I can't record this anyway. So how am I going to, you know what I mean? Like, I can't record my phone anyway. So that's pointless. Wii U games. Game & Wario. New Super Luigi U. New Super Mario Bros. U. Nintendo Land. Splatoon. Super Mario Maker. Wii Fit U. Super Mario 3D World. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Star Fox Zero. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Pikmin 3, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars, Mario Kart 8, and Mario Party. Why is one of your biggest games not on this list? Why? Why is Smash not on that list? Now, you have Wii U downloadable games. Dr. Luigi, Wii Sports Club, Star Fox Guard, Animal Crossing Plaza. Like, seriously? You need to give me permission to use the plaza in a video. That's ridiculous. It's a plaza where animals are running around. Stop. NES Remix, Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge, and then Super Mario Mashup Pack Minecraft Wii U Edition, which, by the way, they just put out and they said, hey, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to take any revenue off this. And then, bang, people were getting strikes against their accounts all across it. Now, to their credit, it wasn't for the game. It was for the music. The music strikes were coming up. So I think they're going to work to get that fixed. But that's just sometimes
get rid of it altogether.
Yeah, that would be the answer. Now, here's the better one. Now, check this out. When you go over to the 3DS, right, for those that have a 3DS, this is the one that always makes me laugh. You go through the entire list. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer is on the list. Mm-hmm. New Leaf is not on the list. So why Would you give me?
It's clear to me that they have focused on games that aren't already getting the spotlight.
Yeah.
Smash is already that's taken care of.
Yeah.
That they want to control. That's part of the control.
Yeah.
It's not about people being inappropriate with their content. It's about giving focus and spotlights to certain titles.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And by the way, with a 3DS, if you've gone through the trouble to modify your 3DS so that you can record off of it, have at her.
Yes. It's $500 to buy to either get a 3DS with it built into it, or to ship out your 3DS and get it installed is like $300. So you're spending the money in order to get the recording program. If I spend $500, you're really going to tell me what I can play and what I can't play? Come on. So ultimately, I feel like the whole thing should just go. I would be better off if Nintendo axed it, opened up the library to every game, every Nintendo game. Just stop. This is the way I likened it. And I feel like it's really true. I don't know if you remember Napster back in the 90s or whatever. But there might be some of our audience.
2000.
Yeah, there's some of our audience might not remember Napster. But basically, what Napster.
You don't care about music radio
yes,
anymore.
pretty much. But essentially, what Napster did, for those that don't know, is you could file share music. So I had a program called Napster. I'd log in. I'd search for a music. I'd search for Metallica. Metallica would come up with a list of all their songs. I'd double-click. It would download to my computer. Essentially, I wouldn't have to go to the store and buy Metallica CDs or whatever, and then I could burn them onto a CD and then listen to it whenever I want. Most people that were downloading the music to their computer were keeping it on their keeping it on their computer, just listening to it at home or whatever, because they already own the CD. Metallica sued those fans. Now, that's kind of the feeling I get about this is, you're basically limiting and hindering your fans. Let your fans go do their thing. Nintendo cannot believe in an instant that it's really hurting their business model for fans to go out and put up videos of their games. I just think it's crazy. In this day and age, I think it's nuts. So if you want to get revenue from this stuff, start an esports league. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Nintendo should be focused on. Like, let people go share the stuff and share the content. You've made the game. You've taken your money from the sale of the game. As long as people are not using your product in a derogatory manner or a sexual manner or something that is not Nintendo, let them have at it. That's the way I feel, And, it's like, here's an example. The guy last week, he proposes to his wife or his fiance, his girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And what do? They promote it all over the place. Excuse me. How do we get that? How do we get that footage? So it's like, you're like, stop the madness, man. Let people do their thing. Just let them have at it. I don't see how it hurts. That's me. Now, as far as like, what do? Well, we just integrate it. We just make it where it's a click of a button and you can bang. You're right on YouTube. You're right on Twitch. I think it's a no-brainer, ultimately.
What else do you say? I'm totally for it. I'll reiterate again. Make complete opposite. Stop restricting people and celebrate. You have your top contributors. Celebrate and promote and help these people even build their own Nintendo communities.
Yes.
And help people become the next PewDiePie or the next whoever it's going to be for Nintendo. Like, Nintendo doesn't have a PewDiePie.
No.
Because they keep shutting all these things down. I think that's what they're hoping to do maybe with this control. But it's been completely opposite. They're keeping people who are big fans away. They're making them jump through hoops.
Yeah.
So, I think the infrastructure, it would almost be like the same infrastructure. You still have to sign up. You still have to go through a couple hoops, but the payoff is way better.
And that's what I think. And that's what I think. I think they need to look at statistically, how does this help our company? Does it? Yes, and here's the thing, and people are probably looking at it like, well, that's not true because if you ran Nintendo, you'd want the revenue stream. No, I think ultimately free advertising is a better revenue stream than taking money from people that are, because at the end of the day, what people don't comprehend, Josh Thomas of the BitBlock. For those that don't know Josh, go check out his work. I think there's hundreds of thousands of people that know who Josh is. But Josh has a video series that he does on his YouTube channel, which is it's the Dream Suites from Animal Crossing. And what he does is he goes to people's towns and walks around and plays a character and plays a bit part and like shows off people's towns. But it is hilarious because of all the quirky, goofy things he says and does. I watched that video for Josh Thomas. I don't watch that video for Animal Crossing New Leaf. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with I'm going to be entertained by Josh. And by the way, I get to check out a game that I really like, and I think it's funny, and I think it's hilarious. Just pull the strings off, man. Let people do their thing, you know? So there we go. So the next topic, first off, thank you, Danielle, for that good question. And next topic is from Billy Blaze. So if we ran Nintendo, how would we approach mobile games, and especially how would you monetize them? It was already announced that Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing mobile games will be free to play, but there are still many different ways to do it, and I personally really hope it's not an EA kind of free to play. So this is a good question. This is relevant to the times. This is where we're at. We're doing mobile. Let's start with right now. So Miitomo came out lukewarm. I think everybody jumped on board initially because they were like, oh my God, this is awesome. You know, I think that they're taking way too long to roll stuff out. I think they could have made this game much better than it really is. I think if they would have implemented more Tomodachi Life things into this, it could have been a better game than it actually was. So that's what I would have done. I would have put more stuff, focused more stuff in this game. Mm-hmm. Moving forward, so we've announced Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem. This is rough. This is hard because we're basically saying it's free to play. How do we monetize this? How do we make this work?
Are we talking specifically about those two titles, or are we opening it up?
Well, let's start with those two titles. And
to
then
me, those two seem like the easiest ones, and especially with Animal Crossing and the idea that's introduced in Miitomo of we have something neat that doesn't actually affect the game in that like different clothes or different items and things like that people will spend. I wouldn't, and I don't think you would either, but people will spend real money to dress up their Miitomo in whatever, a Mario costume or an astronaut's costume or things like that. Yeah. That formula in Animal Crossing, I think, actually works even better than what we're seeing in Miitomo. I mean, you start to open it up with all of the different seasons and the time of day or the day of the week. Or I think we've mentioned on this podcast as well about the bells and the stock market and things like that, where Animal Crossing is in itself, it's an economy. And so it just breathes money. Yes. So monetizing that actually, I don't think is more of a stretch, any more of a stretch than we already think that it might be. I think that it's actually pretty easy to just throw dollar figures on everything that you transact.
But here's the thing.
You can earn it. But that's the thing. It's the whole Simpsons tapped out. It's the Farmville thing. You can do things. You can buy items, or you can also which are cosmetic. Yeah. They're luxury. Or you can also spend money to speed up time.
See, this is the thing that I would do. I would keep it separate. I would not want to ruin the core of what Animal Crossing is. The core of Animal Crossing is an amazing game. If you start setting timers to that, or you start setting pay to win to that, essentially,
there's no real winning. It's just a matter of the best town. And so if
but what I mean by that is this. When the way that I would integrate this is this: public works projects. So if I could basically spend real world to get a public works project built, to me, it takes away from when you earn those bells in game and you're able to unlock that thing. But maybe the option is that like maybe you create a designer program that can integrate with your Animal Crossing game. Like I feel like you do something that integrates and helps to do something on that end. I guess the best way to look at it is like when you had Fallout Shelter. It had nothing to do with the game of Fallout. It was something totally different, totally standalone, kind of took some of the aspects of Fallout and threw it in there and made it fun. So with Fire Emblem, this is what I would do. I would make it where you can actually import the characters that you have in your Fire Emblem game into that game, and you can utilize that for like maybe 5 battles a day, which is basically grinding. So you take those 5 characters, you get 5 battles a day for free that you can grind, and then if you want to go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have to buy those purchases. Then I could take those characters that I've grinded up, drop them back in the game when I get home, and now I can go forward, and maybe they're up a level, maybe they're whatever, but they're stronger than they were prior. I could still do everything I could do on the Fire Emblem game, but 5 times a day or more if I want to pay for it, I could take these characters off, have different maps, battle different characters, get stronger, take them back, and it essentially makes my game at home a little bit easier because I've grinded. But that's not, because I feel like if you do that, you're not doing anything different than grinding. The only difference is you're letting people do it on the mobile phone away, and if you want to pay for more to make it quicker and bigger and better, then go ahead. But otherwise, we'll give you the 5 turns to grind with. With Animal Crossing, I think it's a little trickier. I think that game is so good, and it has heart behind it, that if you start to tinker with it, I think you mess it up. I don't know what you do for an Animal Crossing game, and I don't know what Nintendo's going to do for this. But I think just basically saying like, hey, here's a mobile Animal Crossing game, and you know what? Before, when you would get bells in order to purchase a new roof, you have to actually spend real money to buy a new roof. And I think you're going to turn people off and you're going to lose them. So I wouldn't go that way. Like, I think you need...
It's just as simple as buying bells. So instead of going around and picking all your trees or going to other towns and getting exotic fruits or whatever, it's just a matter of buying bells.
Well, I would...
Probably it.
But I would probably set up some type of mini game that's Animal Crossing related, where you could earn things that you could then transfer to your main game. Same thing.
See, I like that idea that you're on. It has it linking back to your main game actually speaks to the whole idea behind the strategy behind this is to drive people who otherwise may not have tried these games, get them on mobile where they are anyways, and then have some sort of benefit that's taking them somewhere else. I really like that.
Yeah.
I did get Fire Emblem. What if you just have? What if there is no in-game currency? You just buy the game. What if that's like? It sounds crazy, but just don't apply any like traditional mobile market to it. Just it's $5. You have to play the game, and then maybe the model of trying to get repeat purchasing and more support is add-ons. So you can have like $2 add-ons, or every quarter there's expansion packs that you can.
Well, I mean, you look at Fire Emblem Fates, and every week there's new maps being added. Every week. So so essentially that's where you're going with this. I think as far as future games, I think the one that I would do, and we discussed this last show, was I would focus a lot on apps. But unlike Sony and Microsoft, I would probably charge for the app. What I mean by that is I would create the ultimate app for Nintendo, charge 99 cents, and what would be on that app would be, like we said, you'd have like the stamps, trophies type things there. You could have a chat function. You could have the store. You could have maybe bring in like a strategy guide type thing, or like different websites that you could click on to like find out different things. Maybe you could throw news bulletins at people. Like there's a bunch of different things you could do, but I would just charge the 99 cents to unlock it. The other thing that I would do is I would make a Super Mario Maker app where, again, I would charge for it. And that one I would probably be a little bit meatier, a price, maybe $5 for this app, but you would be able to build levels on that app. So, which then could be imported into Super Mario Maker. Mm-hmm. So I think that, like, I don't know, like, I would basically look at games that I have and say, how do we improve the experiences that we already have? Well, if you could allow people to build levels on the fly, and then when they bring them back home, or they can import them wherever they are. It doesn't matter where they are. They just import it, and you could be out at the doctor's office or getting ready to, you know, everybody's ordering dinner, and you're just sitting there waiting for them to finish ordering dinner or whatever, or someone runs to the bathroom while you're at the table, you know, and you just start fiddling around and you build a level and, you know, whatever.
To your mobile.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally do this stuff, and I feel like then that $5 purchase makes it a little bit worthwhile because it's expanding your experience already.
So the key I think is all in the My Nintendo account, like the new Club Nintendo, whatever your home base is, it's all there. And so we talked about bringing like Nintendo Power back as a subscription model. Tying that into the mobile games, I think, is also key, where maybe you get special pricing somehow on the mobile games if you're already there. Again, just like creating this ecosystem of I exist here, therefore I've got deals over here as well.
Yes.
I don't know if this is getting too off base, but I would like to see, you know, when you buy like a PC, you get Microsoft Paint, you get Word, you get kind of like a base set, or like it's better with Macs, you get like GarageBand and a suite of software.
Yes.
When you buy an NX, what if it came with Mario Paint, Mario Maker, all these different creativity tools you would want to play? I don't even know if we want to get into motion controls, but Wii Sports, things like some of the greatest kind of packing games that kind of get you involved. Then with mobile, you could be off at the dentist's office getting your chipped tooth fixed, making a Mario Maker level in an app that maybe you purchased or it came free and you're purchasing bundles and new items and things like that. It all has to, it's a bigger, I don't know if you meant to make this a bigger question than it is, but this is a major thing. It's not just about how do we apply the currency model that we're seeing with other apps to Nintendo franchises. It's how do you do mobile in a way that is so innately and fundamentally Nintendo? Like, what is it about Nintendo, and why are we doing mobile? Like, you have to ask those questions about, like, why are we doing this to begin with, and make sure that all the strategies kind of line up that way.
I will tell you something that I would do. I would legitimately go out and look at the business models of all the games that have stolen from us over the last 5 years. And I would recreate those in Nintendo properties and model them identical. Example, Flappy Bird, right? So this guy comes out, he creates this thing. It's Mario Brothers, basically, with a little bird. Change the name to Flappy Birdo and go. And I would actually legitimately have like this weird looking birdo that can fly through the levels and do it. And exactly how he charged in Flappy Bird is how I'm going to charge in my game. And because obviously people are willing to pay for it. So push it that way.
Do like a WarioWare suite of little mini games. They're all free, but you can buy for more lives.
Yes.
Like the Flappy Bird, the Crossy Road, the Pac-Man 256.
Yeah, I would have a set of games that model identical to mobile. That essentially, I don't care.
They're basically arcade games.
Well, yeah, but I would basically make it where I don't care if my fans buy it. Do I want you to buy the games? Yeah, sure. But I'm not catering to you. The idea behind mobile is to bring in people that necessarily were big on Nintendo, recognize the Nintendo name, and want to still be casual and play on mobile games. That's a different experience than like you or I or Billy Blaze. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo doesn't essentially want all the people that buy Nintendo games to just now move to mobile. That's not what it's about. It's about going after a new person and maybe being able to get them back over to the home consoles or to the 3DSs, things of that nature. That's the ultimate game plan here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more people with mobile phones than there are with PlayStation 4s. You could take PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Wii U, Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360, combine those numbers together, and there's more mobile phones out there. Mm-hmm. It's a huge amount of people that have mobile phones. So if you could essentially get more of those people back onto your consoles and playing your console or your handhelds, that's the game plan. That's the ultimate plan. So I feel like you go through two strikes. Attack one, strike one is you go back and you look at all these mobile games that are in existence, what works, what doesn't work, all that stuff. And then you throw your Nintendo franchises at it and create these free-to-play microtransaction games and push that through. Then you go, what's our top franchises? Smash, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem. We create these supplemental games that are games but not games. You know, like maybe mini games, but will help your experience on the game. Because now what you're doing is you've created this culture with the casual games. Then someone goes, oh, they got this new Animal Crossing game. What's that? Now they buy the Animal Crossing game. But then they find out, they go, well, this isn't necessarily a complete game. Wait, I could do stuff here and then take it to this other. What's this other game? And then they look over and they start to do research. Maybe they go to Best Buy and go, I got this app. I got this. It's talking about Animal Crossing. I love this game. Where do I get Animal Crossing? Oh, come here. I'll show you. Here's a 3DS. You could buy this 3DS. You have the 3DS. You buy this game. And then what you're doing here moves over to there, and it's all copacetic. That's step 2. Step 3 is you go with mobile apps. And by mobile apps, I mean functional apps, like the Nintendo app, like the Mario Maker app, things of that nature, where that's where you're charging a flat-out price for this, and that's what it is. And included in that would be if you wanted to do certain games, not all games, maybe some RPGs, things of that nature, where you just charge a higher price, and maybe not even a higher price. Maybe you go, hey, we're going to charge you, if you want to buy the game outright, we're going to charge you $40, $30, $15, whatever we feel the value of that game is. Or you could do a free-to-play with microtransactions out the wazoo. Example, Pokemon Shuffle. Pokemon Shuffle is basically Tetris, Gem Swap, all these different weird games like Bejeweled and all these different games that they've always had. What we do is we say, hey, you can either buy Pokemon Shuffle outright, you own it, give us $10 for it, it's yours, or you could do free to play, and we're just going to hit you with microtransactions if you want extra stuff like every so often. I feel like that's your you can't, there's not an umbrella for a one size fits all here. I feel like in what we're looking to do, you need multiple revenues, multiple things you're trying to do here. So there's not just this one size fits all for mobile gaming. I think you need
and you need frequency of releases too. So part of it, you kind of touched on this a little bit, is you have different levels of games, apps, whatever, things that you're downloading in mobile. So you're going to have like how beefy are these games? Miitomo is big and it takes a long time to load. Like it's not as casual as it's meant to be. It's not like I'll just check in and I'll shut it off. Flappy Bird, some of these more arcadey types of experiences, you turn them on, you play them for 30 seconds, then you're done. Yeah. Or maybe that 30 seconds catches you, and the next thing you know, you don't even know where the next 4 hours are. But ultimately, the game is lightweight. Mm-hmm. It doesn't kill your battery. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a whole suite of those types of games, like you mentioned. Then you're probably going to have some of the bigger games, like what I think we're going to get with Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem, and probably anything Pokemon. It's going to be bigger. But the fact that Nintendo is leading with some of these bigger ones, I think is a mistake. I think they should go kind of what you were saying with let's just barrage people, because that's the nature of mobile.
Yeah.
It's like thousands of games coming out all the time. But again, that's very anti-Nintendo. So I'm on both. Yeah. I'm on different sides of it. But it seems like with Miitomo, it was like, get ready, everybody. It's coming, and everybody's ready for it. And then a couple weeks later, like, I'm really only doing the bare minimum on it because I want to.
Yeah, I do too. I'll pop in, check stuff, get some coins, stuff like that. I feel like Nintendo's trying to change the game with mobile. They're trying to go with their Nintendo essence to mobile. Look it. It's a different ball game. Just go in there with the mindset of mobile is trash, and people are willing to pay for trash. And just, like I said, you got to hit them on all these different fronts, you know, and we need to change our thinking when we go into mobile. You know, mobile gaming is a different animal altogether. It's not, you know, it's weird. I would go right now and buy Final Fantasy on my Wii U. Right now, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would buy Final Fantasy 3 in the United States, 6 overseas, whatever, tomorrow. Right now, doesn't matter. Tell me it's down on the Wii U, and I'll go buy it. I won't buy it on my, and I'll pay $20, $30 for it, and won't even blink an eye at it. But I will not pay $15 for it on my cell phone.
Yeah,
because I don't like virtual buttons. I hate that type of controls. But there's a market out there that does like that. So I
love like the Hitman Go or the Lara Croft Go. Like more like little table pieces. So Mario Party would be amazing to be able to play. Yeah. You each have your own device. You can be like near, far, kind of like Words with Friends, where it's like, okay, now it's your turn, and whenever you're ready to go, then you get to go. And like have more like that turn-based kind of stuff.
You know what, man? You just hit me with that, because that would be awesome. A Mario Party that's kind of like Words with Friends, where you play these little mini games and it's back and forth, and it's that. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's a podcast for me, guys. Thank you. Have a good weekend. See you later.
So essentially, that's where we're at. I mean, ultimately, that's where I think we are. I think that we go.
Did we talk Pokemon?
But I don't feel like Pokemon's legit, because Pokemon isn't truly Nintendo. That's the Pokemon company.
Okay.
Nintendo gets a little piece of the pie, but ultimately they don't have any say in the direction. Like, that's Pokemon company. Pokemon company says this is what we're doing, and they do it. So let's just recap real quick. Yeah. So to recap, what we're saying is we feel like it's multiple directions. It can't be one size fits all. We're going to hit them with the filthy casual type games right off Jump Street, kind of rope people in. Then we're going to do the more meatier games with the Animal Crossing and the Fire Emblem Fates and stuff like that, but also ties back to your console experiences or your 3DS experiences. And then you're going to do your mobile apps and your quasi pay in full or free to play games. Will be all roped into tier 3. So I feel like you have to have 3 tiers in order for this to work. And then at the end of the day, Billy Blaze, you have the option to pick whatever of those 3 fits you. You don't have to go with the filthy casuals. You don't have to go. I feel like 2 and 3 would fit me. That's where that would be my sweet spot. 1, I probably wouldn't mess with at all, because that's not I don't play those type of games. But my mom, all day, would be in that first day, and they pick up a boatload of money off my mom. My mom plays Farmville like it's going out of style. She loves it. So that's the type of stuff you do. You have that stuff over there for grandma and mom and dad and all that stuff, and then you have, like, you know, the more serious gamers, the more serious Nintendo fans who understand that there's more stuff, not just this mobile stuff, who understands that, like, hey, I got my Wii U, I got my 3DS, and these games that I'm playing here on my mobile will link to those as well. That's where I think I would fall in. I think that's where you would fall. I think there's a lot of people that listen to us would fall in. So that's it.
That's it. Sorry, I was looking at my phone trying to look up who does the I can never remember the name of the company who does all the Clash of Clans and the Battle Royale and things like that. It's like Slurpee something or other. And then the Pac-Man guys and the Crossy Road. Like there's different classes of mobile games, and those guys can definitely take advantage of specializing in those. Nintendo is a big enough company that isn't banking on mobile, and so they can actually do all of them. They can just copy and do better all of those different models and completely take over here, which I think is exciting, because you look at a company like Rovio, who of course did Angry Birds, Happy Birds. Not doing so good these days, but a massive success, like almost synonymous with mobile gaming is Angry Birds.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy to me that, they had the movie come out. I think it's doing well.
It's doing pretty good.
But yeah, that company is not doing as well as it used to. And for something to be so fleeting for such a massive success, I think actually speaks well for Nintendo to be able to come in and just kind of push people out. We talk about power moves. I think we talked about that last week. Pushing people out. Nintendo could come on in with their big bags of cash and just get everybody out. Yeah,
I agree. And
it doesn't seem like it at the moment. I feel like people are gonna be like, you know what, these guys make like hundreds of millions of dollars a day. Of course they do. Yeah. But it's not forever, and that's not sustainable. Yeah. They know that they're going after a 1% of the population to completely fund all of this stuff to be their revenue streams.
Absolutely.
Nintendo thinks with sustainability in mind, and I think that your model, I think the three different ways that we're going to attack this makes sense for it to be sustainable. That's all I got.
They're listening to us and they're going, whatever, you idiots, you keep shipping flowers across the country, and you keep trying to, drum up business and money from your charities and stuff, and we'll take care of the video games.
Yeah, you go cure cancer there, buddy.
I didn't want to be insensitive by saying that, but yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. So that's all.
That Mario Party was a good idea.
Yeah, I think that worked out good.
Yeah. All right.
Don't hang your hat on that one. It ain't gonna. Stop. So that's all. Thank you guys for listening to us. You can follow Sean at
Sean Capri. That's Sean like Connery Capri, like the pants on the Twitter.
On the Twitter. And I am at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Cub Scout.
See you later.
Take that Canadian.